Guys, I'm standing in front of 723 7th Avenue, the most famous building in hip-hop history, where a tragedy took place that changed the trajectory of all human history as far as I'm concerned. Certainly in pop culture and in music. That is Times Square, right there. And that is 723 7th Avenue, the lobby and the entrance to Quad Studios. I will be taking you on a tour of where Tupac was robbed, assaulted, and almost unalived in that very lobby right there. I want to make it clear, I have done videos here before, but never in depth. And I always get thousands of comments of people doing their own detective work and making up their own stories and saying who did what. I am not a cop, nor am I a snitch. My job is not to solve the crime. My job is to report the actual facts of what happened. The first door is always open. You can get in, no problem. Then you have to get buzzed in. And if this door is unlocked, it's locked, so I can't get in right now. Guys, you cannot get in unless you work here or you're buzzed in, so I'm going to try to follow a worker inside. It's still very touchy from what went down here many years ago, so you want to make sure you don't run into somebody who's hostile or upset. All right, here we go. Let's go in. All right. Thank you very much. So you need to get swiped in to open this door, or you're not getting in. All right? This is where he was headed to, Quad Studios. Now, there was a table here at the time, and it was two brothers pretending they were working here. They were not. So Tupac went through the first door, came through the second door, and came right here. And as you can see, it is an absolute perfect spot for a setup. Ain't nowhere to go. If the elevator's open, you could jump on the elevator, but it wasn't. So Tupac and his friend Randy Stretch Walker walked into this area. It's about 12 feet, 15 feet long, and there's nowhere to go. They pushed the button, waited to go up to Quad Studios, and unfortunately they heard footsteps, and these two brothers right here made their move. Came around the corner and pop, 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 pop. 5 times. Tupac Shakur was seriously injured as he laid on the floor here. They stripped him of $60,000 worth of gold and jewelry. His best friend, Randy Stretch Walker, was unharmed and untouched, which became a problem for Tupac later. Tupac ended up going to Quad Studios. He pushed the button, he went up, the doors open. Who does he see? He sees P. Diddy and Biggie, and he accuses them of setting him up. And this is how the East Coast, West Coast war began. Even though Biggie and Tupac were very good friends. Now you're going to get in the comments and you're going to say Haitian Jack did it, or you're going to say Jimmy Henchman did it, or Pete Diddy did it. I'm not going to confirm, deny, I don't know. I'm not a cop and I'm not a snitch. I'm not here to do that. I'm here to tell you what happened. On November 30th, 1994, Tupac Shakur walked in this door with Randy Stretch Walker. He walked past two brothers pretending they were working there, got right here, and that's it. Tupac laid here on the floor, and they stripped him of his jewelry, and they walked out. Guys, this place is open for business, and it's dangerous doing this around here. So we'll do the rest of the story outside. Again, this happened November 30th, 1994. And the weird thing about it is Randy Stretch Walker, who was Tupac's absolute best friend, 1 year to the day, November 30th, 1995. Randy Stretch Walker, Tupac's best friend at the time of this incident, who Tupac believed actually was involved with Biggie for setting him up. He was unalived, shot 4 times, and it's very tragic. So Tupac was actually walking this direction, headed to the studio, which is right here. And as you can see, there's a big sign on there, like there is all over Times Square. But that wasn't there back then. Behind that is a fire escape. And on that fire escape, Tupac heard Little C's, who is Biggie's best friend and a member of Junior Mafia, who was recording in Quad Studios. And he heard him, yo, Pac, we up here. Pac said, all right, I'll be right there.
So I could just see, I know how Pac walk and all that. So I'm like, oh, shit, I look like Pac. Yo, and I'm yelling like, yo, Pac. And he looked up, he looking, he couldn't see us. You know, he looking up, he like, who that? I'm like, yo, this C's, Little C's, what's up? What's good? I said, yo, what up? Where you going? He said, where y'all at? I said, yo, I'm gonna come downstairs. I said, yo, I go back in the room, I tell Big, I'm like, yo, Big, Pac downstairs. He like, you lying. I'm like, nah, dead ass, he downstairs. He was like, oh, all right, go get him.
And Pac went about his way. Having no idea that as he entered this building, it would change his life forever. This is it. 723 7th Avenue. And Tupac walked in those doors and came out a much different person. Tupac accused P. Diddy, Biggie, Haitian Jack, Jimmy Henchman, and even Randy Stretch Walker of being involved. But then, in 2011, a man named Dexter Isaac came forward with a confession. According to Isaac, Jimmy Henchman paid him $2,500 to rob Tupac, and he could keep all the jewelry except for one ring that Jimmy wanted for his collection. A guy named King Tut was also implicated in the robbery and shooting. Unfortunately, many of the players that were involved in this incident that went down November 30th, 1994 at Quad Studios in New York City are no longer with us or are in prison. And we will never know exactly what happened, but this gives you a better understanding of what they say happened. Tragically, a year and a half later, on September 7th, 1996, Tupac Shakur was shot again, this time in Las Vegas while riding in a car with Suge Knight. He was in a coma for 7 days until his mother Afeni pulled the plug, and he passed away on Friday the 13th, September 13th, 1996. And 6 months later, the late great notorious B.I.G. Christopher Wallace was also gunned down in Los Angeles, California on March 9th, and he, too, lost his life. Hopefully you have a better understanding of what happened on that fateful night in New York City at Quad Studios. I pray for the families of all of those who lost their lives and were affected by these senseless acts of violence. Please be kind and loving to each other, and God bless you.